Well, this is Radio Gold 90.5 FM. Today, we have the privilege of interviewing a man who, in opposition, his job was to hold government accountable on matters of finance. In government now, he will be the one who will be held accountable. He's been in office as the finance minister for about 6 months now. Question is, how is it going? Now, today, we are not doing it alone. We are doing it with Class FM and Class TV.
So, thank you for the opportunity. We are here to engage the minister, and we understand that the media budget review is backed by law. So, we first want to start the conversation with that kind of agreement that minister. Thanks for the opportunity to speak with us.
Thank you.
So, we want to find out from you that this arrangement of the mid-year, but I've heard you speak somewhere that it was your baby, it was your creation in 2016 before you left office.
Okay, first, it's not my personal creation, it's the creation of the previous Mahama administration. Until 2016, media review wasn't compulsory. So it is at the beck and call of the minister. And often, if the minister is going to be asking for supplementary estimate, then they will go to Parliament and through the supplementary estimate, update and give some feedback to parliamentarians and obviously to the nation. But then, as part of the Public Financial Management Act, new act that came into being in August 2016, it became mandatory on the ministers of finance to submit to Parliament a media fiscal review statement, not later than end July of every single year. So it's now compulsory, architecture as part of our public financial management structure.
Why was it necessary to institutionalize it?
I think it's best practice. Best practice in the sense that you have indeed operated a budget framework for half year. And it is assumed that by July, you should be able to have the first 6 month data. And you have one clear month up to June. So by end of July, you should be able to present to Parliament, even if it's fine, even though it may not be final, but at least almost final documentation numbers to Parliament, for you to give Parliament a form of update, and then also, where necessary, ask for remedial measures so that the country in the course of the year will not be far away from its target, and where possible, send the country into an economic difficulty. So that became a standard.
Well, this time around, you said you were coming by a statement,
Yes.
not a motion.
Yes.
Explain that.
I went with a motion.
Okay.
I went with a motion because as part of the media review, I needed Parliament to give me an approval under Section 33
Okay.
of the Public Financial Management Act, multi-year commitment authorization. And if you look at Section 33(1), it talks of Parliament giving authorization for the minister to commit the state into not more than 1 year. And as part of the budget statement, you can come as part of the budget statement. So I went as part of the budget, which is the media fiscal review statement, of which the minister, Parliament will need to give me authorization after the minister has given his prior written consent to the minister for roads and highways to be able to begin the procurement of our flagship Big Push infrastructure program.
I see. I want us to begin the conversation proper into the specifics.
Thank you.
In your intro, you said, and I quote you, Right Honourable Speaker, I am back to the House today with a deep sense of duty and optimism. This has been the language of you. In fact, when you came somewhere in March to deliver the main what what is it about this optimism that you always talk about?
Okay, let me say that when I went to Parliament in March, I wasn't so optimistic, but I was hopeful. But I was also surprised at the extent of recklessness that we had inherited, and felt that looking carefully at the kind of economy that has been handed over to us, to take something extraordinary, to be able to turn it into a path that we will love as soon as possible. And so the kind of economic model and the kind of prescription we gave to the nature and the extent of damage that were handed over to us were quite aggressive. And normally when you come out with an aggressive consolidation of the magnitude that we had planned to do, it's two things. You succeed or you get some severe backlash. But I knew the option backlash wasn't the solution, and I knew we would succeed. So that gave me hope, and I felt also compelled that someone somewhere must stand for the people of Ghana. President Mahama obviously is committed, and he's asked us to go and rescue the situation. So for us, we were on a rescue mission, a mission to salvage a bit of the decline and reset our country back on a path of proper economic recovery. And that's what exactly we have done.
Do you have a holistic picture now of the economy you have inherited?
Oh, that I'm sure we have not hid it. We have not shied away with what we inherited. For example, we inherited an economy with massive debt. Okay, an economy where the ordinary citizens had lost hope. Okay, confidence was largely non-existent. You had the real sectors of the economy limping. The cocoa sector was in deep distress. I mean, ridden with massive debt. You know what was happening at the energy sector at the time. Very difficult situation at the energy sector, with about 1.5 billion US dollars of annual energy sector shortfalls that we need to fund. You could see almost every single SOE with severe impaired balance sheet. And so the fiscal risk, contingent liability, and the liabilities itself was very heavy on a fragile economy like ours. We also inherited contracts that has been awarded in excess of 194 billion, can call it 2 billion, 200 billion US Ghana cedis.
200 billion in contracts
alone. In contracts alone. And then we had also inherited invoices. Contractors that have done some work worth about 68.7 billion cedis, and all of them were demanding that we pay them. And everybody bringing invoice here, pay me.
68.7?
68.7 billion. I said, how am I going to pay 68.7 billion in a short period of time? So some of the things I said earlier on is that if we pay all now, then the country is finished, because remember, you don't have revenue to pay 68.7 billion. You don't. Your option would be that you go to the TT bill market to go and borrow 68.7. But if you go and borrow 68.7 billion from the treasury bill market, you are finished. You are simply finished. You can't. You can't. Apart from the rollover risk that you end up creating, you will be faced with a situation where, as a country, you will be let me put it this way, increasing the interest rate on the treasury bill market and crowding out the private sector completely. And that would have been very difficult for Ghana. So I said to myself that, yes, we inherited 67 billion. We did not award those contracts. They awarded a contract without thinking that you pay, but just awarded contract. They were just interested. They've turned the whole country into procurement economy. All what they wanted to do is just procure, procure, procure. So I call it procurement economy. That's what they left behind, and just it's all about procurement, nothing more than procurement. And so I felt that we need to put the brakes a bit. We need to first of all validate that indeed we owe 68.7 billion before we begin to pay. And apart from validating, we also need to reschedule this payment over a period of time and pay them, because you can't pay it over 1 year. So you have to pay it over 3-4 years maybe. So in the last budget, we provisioned to pay 13.7 billion. That's what we could pay as part of the PSBR. So it means even the 13.7 billion, you have to go and borrow to pay. You have to go and borrow from the same T-bill market to pay, because your revenue cannot accommodate that, because the revenue is for current year expenditures. Okay, and so if you are paying something that you have not incurred, then you have to find a way to finance it. And in financing it, you have to borrow. So that's what we've done. So far, we've paid 5 billion cedis out of 13.7 billion. In the coming months, the remaining 8.7 billion we'll schedule and pay them before the year end.
Before you come in, just one bit on that. But it seems you're suggesting that this validation, or is the validation different from the audit you said the Auditor General was doing? It's the same thing.
It's the same.
So far, what sense are you getting?
So far, some work has been done, and the Auditor General tells me that he's past 80%. I announced the exact number. I think it's 87 point something % work done, and he has validated 23 billion. 27 billion is also yet pending validation. He has rejected about 3.5 billion cedis. So rejecting 3.5 billion cedis based on a number of reasons. I mean, he has rejected 3.75. So 3.5 billion, that's how much he has rejected. Let me say that let's wait for the outcome of the final audit to be made public. And we expect that he will finish. If that can be done by end of next month, then it provides us some comfort. That.
And one more on the matter of audits. One of the other things you're also auditing is the wages. First, what type of situation did you inherit? Because I recall vividly when you were Deputy Finance Minister, there was a big issue when a single spine salary was rolled out. Wages became a big problem. Is it similar to that situation?
Oh, no. I will not say we have reached that level yet, but I will say that this year the wage level is becoming concerning. Concerning in the sense that we have already exceeded our projected half year wage expenditure by about 1.34 billion. And then so I needed to track the outcome, what is really causing this overruns. And in tracking the overruns, it came to my notice that apparently in the last quarter of 2024, the previous NPP administration had employed so much people onto the payroll. Obviously, as a way to give assurance to their supporters that they are ready to create employment. And so in their so-called employment creation, what they did was to just employ people into the public sector. And you can see huge numbers entering the payroll, government payroll, in the first quarter of 2025. And that is what has really jacked up the Ministry of Finance from the numbers that I've seen. For in some cases, they had promised, they had given financial clearance to certain agencies, ministries, departments, and agencies to employ, let's say, 1,000. But they ended up employing 1.5 times that number, 1,500. So in the numbers, you see that even though they had programmed to receive about 1,000 people on the payroll, they are getting 50% more. In some cases, 100% more. And so that is what is actually jacking the what do you call it, the wage bill. But let me put it this way. Yes, the wage bill is going up. And I've said it on one of the platforms that sacking workers isn't an option. And I will not recommend that as an option to government. I think there are other people on the payroll. There are other people on the payroll that for some reason, these guys, because they are on the payroll, they are not, they are on the payroll, but they are not supposed to be there. For example, the auditor tells me, the Auditor General tells me, or the Ghana Audit Service tells me that based on the work they've done, about 53,000 separated staffs are still on the payroll.
Yes.
So they need to clean it up quickly. Then number two, he is unable to validate about 14,000 workers. The question is, are they ghosts? And why are they not able to validate it? And if they are ghosts, then of course, we should be able to claim the ghosts. And the savings we've made, we can use that savings to cover some of those that has been on the payroll.
Minister, please, on that same
Yes.
conversation, what do you mean by separated employees?
These are staff that are either on retirement, deceased, on steady leave without pay, blah, 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 all of that.
And they are still captured in there?
Yeah.
So, Minister, what happens to those individuals if they are found out? Whoever is behind
Okay,
the
so we are doing some work on it. Okay, and as I said, our audit is ongoing. The Auditor General will certainly submit his report. When we receive the report, we will find out those that are facilitating this unhealthy, behavior. I have said that certainly someone somewhere validated this ghost before the ghost was paid and before the ghost surfaced somewhere to take the money and spend. I want to caution, and I've already cautioned, that if you are a validator and you validate ghosts, it's you that will hold you accountable. Will hold you accountable because you are an accomplice. You are an accomplice because it means you are in cahoot with the very group of people that are doing this. And so the state cannot sit unconcerned. We may have to intervene, and intervene at a time that everybody sees that you have taken public money. Because clearly, someone somewhere is supposed to do his work. And why is the person not clearing that post? So that person will have a question to answer. And if somebody somewhere is validating that post, that person will have a question to answer. Then the person who is taking that salary, knowing that he's not working and is taking public money, then he knows that that money doesn't belong to that person and he's taking public money unlawfully. And so that person will have questions to answer. The Auditor General tells me that, again, after he started going round and people heard that he's making waves and actually began uncovering this activity of separated staff and staffs who are ghosts and they are still there. Already, people have started paying into the Auditor General's account. And some of them have started returning some of their money. And so he tells me he has over 1 million cedis in the account and he's now going to do reconciliation, confirm the total amount. People are paying.
They're returning the money.
They are returning. So I want to use this opportunity to tell them that if you have taken public money, please go and see the Auditor General and confess that please, just go and confess and give it to the Auditor General because the man will come after you. And you know, he has a lot of powers to surcharge and all. But he tells me that he can say all of a sudden he's seeing that people are paying into those accounts. But let's wait for him to finish his work. Let's wait for the audit service to finish their work. And I'm saying, you are aware, the audit service has offices across the country. They're almost at every region. I want to use the audit service to actually support the work we are doing. They are there for all of us to use. So as minister, I've made an effort to work with the audit service for them to validate this thing for us. But you see, it shouldn't be one-off. It should be because people will leave every day. So we have the audit service in almost every region. You have the internal audit agency structure in almost every district. We need to make this as part of our everyday life so that we'll put in place systems for us to identify ghosts. It's very important. We need to have systems in place. It shouldn't be that I do it 1 year, go and sit somewhere, and then in the course of the year, another set of ghosts will still appear. Take so much from the government, and then it will take another 1 year before I will identify them. It should not be more than 1 month. If you are separated, you should leave the payroll immediately. If you are a ghost, you should identify the ghost, and then whatever you have to do, whether to exercise the ghost or not, then you take a decision on that. But we should not allow ghosts to stay on our payroll. I mean, it's as simple as that. Because it will not happen in the private sector. Why should it happen in the public sector?
And coming to the numbers, you must be a happy man thus far. From the time I read the budget, things seem to be looking good. Inflation is performing well. The exchange rates is performing better. You have your reserves are just rising by the day. You must be a very happy man by the way things have gone so far.
So let me say that I don't want to be complacent, okay? We still have some work to do. We have some considerable work to do. From now till the end of the year, I'm cautiously optimistic. I need to be prudent, be hopeful. I'm optimistic though, but I think I should continue holding the line till the year end so that we can carry this positive story till the end of the year and use that as a foundation for the country to take off properly in 2026. And that is what I intend doing.
Is that a cautious optimism that has informed your decision to stick to the targets you set in the budget itself? Because so far the numbers are telling you you'll be performing better. So why not to go with the numbers?
For example, I set for myself inflation at 11.9 by end year. I've said again in the budget that even though I maintain 11.9 by end year, I believe we can achieve our end year target earlier than scheduled. And if we are able to do that, then that will mean we may end the year possibly with a single digit.
That's the projection a lot of people.
So when you come out with projections, you look at left and right and see if there's going to be a shock, blah, blah, and all. Things are on the right path for us. Let's keep it like that. Let's be hopeful, but let us not celebrate yet. It is not time to celebrate. When the time comes and we have to celebrate, I'll blow the whistle. Until then, let's keep focused.
Is that why? Because in the budget, you said there are 4 risks that you have identified.
We still have some risks.
Are those the risks that are informing your cautious optimism that perhaps this may throw the budget out of gear?
It is part of it, but it is in my nature to also be aware that we are not out of the woods yet. And so I'm happy because I'm seeing things pointing to the right direction. It doesn't mean I should celebrate because I've not crossed the finishing line yet. When we cross the finishing line and we are there, at that point, you can happily inform the people of Ghana that, hey, hooray, job done. But it's not over until it is over. I won't tell you that we are there, so let's start celebrating. Then you tell me that do this and do that. But we are not there yet. We are not there yet. We are making progress. Let me put it this way. We are making meaningful progress, but we are not there yet. And the progress is significant, recognized, it's tangible. I mean, it's something that you can feel. It is evident. But it doesn't mean we have crossed the finishing line or we are out of the woods. I'm hopeful that if we keep the trajectory, if we keep doing what we are doing right, with your support, then by the end of the year, I can say that, yes, maybe we have crossed the line. So hooray.
Before my colleague comes in, what is the finish line for you? What do you mean when you say there?
Okay, so I want to first of all, as I've said, I want stable prices, a stable city. I want to see the central bank building reserves crossing 5 months of import cover and hitting the 6. I want to 6 months of import cover. I want to see inflation a single digit. I really want to see prices of some goods and services coming down to levels that you can be comfortable. An ordinary Ghanaian in my constituency in Ejumako will be comfortable. No longer, weak, but moderate or even strong. That is the vision I want to have. I want to see that the country is back where we've restored completely our credit worthiness. And people feel that, okay, I can lend to Ghana comfortably and Ghana will be able to pay. I don't want a situation where the interest of the creditor and the interest of the ordinary Ghanaian citizen is colliding. I don't want to see that. I want to see that as a minister, I want to be in a position that will be able to take care of public good at the same time servicing our debt. Then you can say that you are at the finishing line. Until then, we are making, as I said, we are making progress. I'm expecting the IMF mission in September. That will provide us an opportunity to assess our debt sustainability once again. Okay. So IMF World Bank will jointly conduct debt sustainability analysis, and that debt sustainability analysis will give us an indication that Ghana is moving away from high risk of debt distress to moderate risk or to maybe no risk. And then I can boldly come and visit you and say to you that I think we are there, but we are not out of the woods. Let's not tickle ourselves. It will be very premature to make that assertion at this time of the year.
Yeah, just a quick one. You talked about the 4 rates that you mentioned.
Yes.
You were very strong and emphatic on the energy sector problems. Yes, it hits both the budget and the economy. Yes. Can you throw some more light on that?
The sector, this is a sector that in the last 3 years, we have spent more than $7 billion in a form of subsidy.
$7 billion.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah. 3 to 4 years. Subsidies to keep our lights on. That is the stark reality. And if you spend 3, adding this year, so that's it, let's say 4 years. And if you are to spend that kind of money to hold one sector, it tells a story. How much are you getting from IMF? This year, we are spending approximately 28 billion cedis. And we think it's not enough, so we had to add 2.9, so it takes you to about 10 billion, 30 billion. So 30 billion at an exchange rate of 10.4 gives you how much? so it tells you it's about over 2 billion. Yeah. So how much are you getting from the whole IMF 3-year loan? 3 billion. In 1 year, you are spending 2 billion on the energy sector. $2 billion 1 year. Just to keep your light on. It's not just though. It's significant. To keep your light on is a big deal. So, $2 billion. You can easily, 1 year cost, energy sector shortfall cost, can construct Accra to Kumasi. Dual carriage, expressway. And the next year can move you from Kumasi to Tamale. Then the following year we will take you to the border. So 3 years, you could see the last 10 years, 8 years under President Akufo-Addo and Alhaji Bawumia, you could see how much they have spent in the sector. Put it together and what we are paying. So it is a major risk. It cannot continue. We need to identify the inefficiencies and handle it head on. Why is ECG not collecting? What can we do differently? Why are we losing so much? Why is it that as a country, the transmission losses and technical losses are exceeding the world average or ECOWAS average or the standard? What is really wrong with that sector? Can we sit unconcerned for this drain to continue? Is there a human element in it? It's a major risk. And if you are not able to fund this, it means your light will go down. And if you don't have light, it will affect industry. It will affect businesses. And the economy is going to go down. And so that's why I'm saying that it's both fiscal and economic risk. And in fact, it's the biggest and single biggest risk we face as a country, economic risk that we face. And there's the need for us to confront it.
Is that the reason why you introduced the one city?
Oh, yes. The question is, some of the inefficiencies we've identified, you can't resolve it tomorrow morning. You have to go through processes to resolve them. There will be some lag. You need maybe a month, maybe you need maybe 2 years, maybe 1 year to resolve some of the system inefficiencies, and it will require some investment as well. But that doesn't mean the problem is gone. You need to still buy fuel to keep your lights on. How do you buy the fuel to keep your lights on? You need money. Are you going to take money that you are going to use to give to national health insurance so that you deny people health care? Are you going to take money that you use to give to free education, free secondary education, deny people education? So you need to find a new way to fund that. But something got to give. And so there was an opportunity where prices were coming down. I wouldn't have introduced it when prices were still at that high level, but prices were coming down. And I'm saying that if government has given you 4 cities windfall, give back 1 city for you to enjoy. It's not government enjoying, you are enjoying it. Give back 1 city, let's get the light to be on, and let us together as a country enjoy it. I think it makes sense, isn't it? No. I think it makes sense. Yes. So that is a fact, and there's the need for us to appreciate that. We need to do that for the benefit of our own people. Look, let me say this: nobody can fix this country for us. It is our responsibility. We have the responsibility to fix our own country, and we don't have to shy away from the problems of this country. We need to admit the problems and agree that we have to find a way to fix it. That's what we are trying to do.
I see. But if you say that your opponents also make the case that it is in this quest to build our country by ourselves that they introduce the e-levy and all of that, which you were against.
Okay, so the e-levy was, I remember when I was the ranking member and this matter came, I call it digital pickpocket tax. It takes your money direct from your pocket. What's the difference between your pocket and your wallet? What do you call digital wallet? So you put your money in your wallet, and when you are moving your money from your wallet to buy something, they are taxing you. So I said he's picking money from your pocket because it's the same wallet. What's the wallet? You have a wallet in your pocket and wallet here. Yeah, it's the same. And the unfair nature of e-levy was part of the reason why some of us opposed it. For example, I work with you, we'll go to maybe a petrol station. I fill my tank, you pay 1,000, I pay 1,000. 2 cars, same fuel, same place. I pay cash, no tax. You pay with your momo, they tax you. Meanwhile, government is saying they are promoting cash-light economy. So they are punishing you for rather supporting government policy. What sort of unfair taxes? And one of the key principles of taxation is supposed to be fairness. Adam Smith will tell you this. And as a tax professional, I can't sit unconcerned because it wasn't really making sense. It wasn't a tax. It was a form of extortion. And Ghanaians agrees with me that is what is a terrible form of collecting money. And if government at the time thinks that this is the only way, I said, come on, if you really want to tax these people, let's go to the table. We are all Ghanaians. Let's jojo and find a better way to tax people. At the time they introduced it, you recall, they wanted to add remittances. And I opposed it. And I remember when we sat on the table, I said, which country tax remittances? You are attracting people to bring money home, and you are taxing remittances. I mean, who does that? Who does that? It would have finished you completely. And so that is the kind of conversation we want to have. So as I'm saying, it is in our interest. We can fund that. We have a responsibility to fix our country. But you see, I can't assume that I know it all. I can never assume that I know it all. I should be able to listen to people. And so if I introduce something and people think that the experts are saying that this is wrong, I should be able to go back to the drawing board to say that, okay, I meant well, but I goof. And so let me go back and rethink about it. That is and that's why we are there as parliamentarians. We are there not only to criticize, but to help mold and shape the country. That's our job. And that's why we opposed it.
A big justification for the levy, the increase in the levy, was that fuel that is usually given to the power plant is not part of the tariff.
Correct.
How do you intend to correct that going forward? Because fuel is what powers the plants. So, first of all, why is fuel not part of the tariff? And secondly, how do you intend to correct that going forward?
Corrected one way or the other. One of the ways to correct that anomaly has to do with dealing with the inefficiencies. But you know, I've always said that you cannot punish citizens because of someone's inefficiency. I've always said that, and I don't shy away from that. There's a limit in which you can increase the tariffs up to. There's always a limit. And maybe you can afford, even if it goes to 100%, because you are in Accra, you work well, you want to use air condition, but I mean, you're a MP. I come from a constituency, I'm an MP in Ejumako and Yenesiam. In my constituents, some can afford, some cannot afford. And I go to my rural communities and I hear some of the things they say. And so the question is, we need to find a nice balance. Now that the currency has strengthened, it has provided an embedded reduction in the rates. And so gradually, if the cedi strengthens, it will correct. So the cedi appreciation is one factor. And then the other factors has to do with dealing with inefficiencies, the technical losses and all, and collection of, the bills, so that we can be able to solve the problem. So when we're able to do that, we'll be able to solve that concern. Another thing has to do with the renegotiation of the IPPs, the agreement, Independent Power Purchase Agreement. We've constituted a technical committee, and the government decided, because we want to make it transparent, we asked a civil society person to lead, so that they can understand and advise government the way to go. They are making progress. We are not on the table with them. The technical people and OI on the table. We wait for their report. When the report comes, we access it and we take it from there.
And then tied to that is, when you were in Parliament, big criticism in opposition, was the utilization of the extra levies by the past administration. You are now in control. What has changed?
Okay. So I have amended the ESLA Act. In fact, we revoked the old one and brought a new one. So the Energy Sector Levies Act has been redone.
Okay.
And this time we are using the resources to buy the fuel.
Okay.
To power the power plant. So it's apart from the fuel, it's not for anything else. So largely we are using it that is what we have been using to buy, to pay the gas from the ENI. Okay, so when we took office, ENI's guarantee had been drawn down to the bone. It had been drawn down 500 and something million. We are restoring the guarantee, and we are also paying ENI the gas on time. So clearly, we have an idea what we are using the ESLA for. In the past, they were using the ESLA for all kinds of things, but you can be rest assured. I'm very mindful that not long ago I was sitting in Parliament and criticizing some of the things that we believe it was wrong. I can't come back, take this seat, and then begin to do same. And I like what you said from the beginning, that once upon a time I had a responsibility to hold someone accountable. Today I'm here and somebody will hold me accountable. And so I have to give an account. And so that really put me in a position that whatever I do, I have to be aware that someone is not only watching, I have to be accountable. And the opposite is that the former Minister of Finance is now the one who have to hold me accountable. Okay? I did same when I was the deputy minister here, and I left and I became the minority spokesperson or the ranking member on the finance committee. I had to do same. I consider that you have to do your job, so I wish him well.
Minister, on the revenue bit, how effective has been Gold Board? Because I hear you talk a lot about it.
Okay, so Gold Board is not a tool to bring money, revenue. It is rather a tool to mop forest reserves, foreign currency for the central bank to build their reserves. And let me say that Gold Board is really doing well. First half numbers are encouraging. They've been able to purchase about 55.1 tons of gold in 6 months. They brought in about 5.1 billion US dollars. This is about 180% of the previous year's revenue. They brought the same period, and about 100% of tonnage of gold resources that they've been brought. So clearly you can see that the Gold Board has significantly transformed the artisanal small-scale mining gold trade sector. It has significantly transformed that.
And it just asked you about revenue. It seems you're performing very well in terms of meeting your target and exceeding it. But there's one place you're worried about. Customs revenue of all places. What's happening there?
Okay, so Customs Division of the GRA, we are seeing that, yes, customs revenues are coming down. Yes, if you are not careful from the cursory look at it, you'd say that, okay, it's coming down because of the appreciation of the currency. But it's more than that. It's more than the CD appreciation. It is actually coming down. The CD has strengthened, and ideally you should see that one-on-one, it means the revenue is done. But the volumes have gone up by about 30%. So even though the CD has appreciated about 42%, the volumes has gone down by 30%. So the reduction should not be at the levels that we are seeing. But the reductions as we are seeing is only at the levels that at the CD that is appreciating. They are not accounting for the volumes. And it's a much concern to us. I think it has to do with compliance in the customs department. And we've begun some work. I'm working very close with the Ghana Revenue Authority, and we are doing some work. In the coming days, we'll make some big announcements. We'll deal with it. Let's wait for the coming days when we'll make those announcements. We'll make those announcements. Some of the tools we are putting in place to improve compliance at the ports. And smuggling. Just this morning, for example, the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, informed me that they have arrested about 30 tankers who were smuggling fuel from Tema Port. And smuggling fuel, the vessels came all the way to Tema Port, and they didn't pay the required taxes. And about 30 tankers have been smuggled. They were smuggling them out. So the GRA, working with the military, had to intervene and overpower them and arrest over 30 tankers.
Wow. Minister, away from that, you were quite heavy on road infrastructure.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
You say that you're looking at 166 constituencies going to benefit from Yes. Can you throw more light on that?
The Honorable Minister for Roads has spent the last 6 months of his time in office ascertaining the true state of Ghana's road. He's gone around every part of the country. He has seen that some places are well endowed with road infrastructure. And he has also seen firsthand the nature of roads in some constituencies. It is obvious that some constituencies have been ill-treated over the years, and some places do not have proper road infrastructure at all. So he came out with an idea to establish what we call the Ghana Road Maintenance Trust Fund. Okay. The government approved the Ghana Road Maintenance Trust Fund, prepared a bill, sent to Parliament, and it replaces what do you call it, the old road frame. His intention is to build 10 kilometers every month, every year in the next 3 years for all these 166 constituencies. So 3 years will make, give and take, 4,980. So it's about 5,000 kilometers of roads to be rehabilitated in these 166 constituencies. So this is a technical work that has been done based on the assessment at the technical level, at the Ministry of Roads level. And these 166 constituencies will begin to see improvement in their roads in the next few years.
Is it part of the big push?
No, not part of the big push, but it's also part of the Ministry of Roads and Highways initiative to develop and build our road sector.
How would that? Is it the new road maintenance fund that will fund those projects?
Yes, of course, because they are the ones funding those projects. Remember, in the budget they have over 2 billion cedis. That is going to the Road Maintenance Trust Fund. The road fund, I'm sure you've heard the minister speak that road tolls are coming back.
Your opponents before this mid-year budget were making the point that he is not spending and the minister is not spending, and when he begins to spend, you begin to see his smoothness level and all that. Yet, when you came to deliver in the House, we realized that a whole lot of spending in there. How did you do that and not also getting the challenges they anticipated you would get?
So, first of all, they were trying to create an impression that whatever we are doing was artificial. And that all because they couldn't do it. And so if someone within a short period of time, President Mahama has been able to do that, then discredit him. Okay? And so it didn't work. I can tell you for a fact that a lot is happening. We have really we've spent about 114 billion Ghana cedis in the last 6 months. And so 114 billion. I don't know what they wanted me to do. They want me to spend 200 billion, even though we don't have the money. They wanted me to go and borrow and spend and spend and spend. And I said that I don't know what they want me to do. You see, the truth is that what they wanted me to do is simple. They had awarded 68 billion contracts to their cronies and all. And so they want you to pay them. Pay 16 billion, 68 billion. That's it. That's all what they want me to do. But I've said that it's under audit. We are not saying we will pay. We pay over a period of time. And when the state gets money, so that will be paid. But it doesn't mean public service should suffer.
I just want to bring you back to roads, because he talked about the constituency in dire need of roads, but you seem to be doing different things. First, you're also talking about road projects that there was funding for, but those fundings were locked up because we had to do the debt restructuring. What's the update on that?
Okay, so that has to do with the 55 projects that were stalled as a result of the debt restructuring. That has been completed because I've begun signing the MOUs, and we've signed the bilateral agreement with China, with France already. And so the stalled project we needed to go through a priority list and send to them. We've done that, and about 24 of them that we are going to begin to sign.
And the amount, you said $250 million.
We'll draw down $250 million.
And that's money coming in drips. Roads are very expensive. Would that be enough to do?
It's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. Let's cut. That's what we can. Because remember, if you borrow 1 billion, you have to plan to pay that 1 billion. This is 250 every year gradually. That's what we can afford. So let's stay within where we'll be comfortable.
But one thing you can...
You saw what previously was being done. Every year they were going to go to the... Every year they go to the Eurobond, 3 billion, 3 billion, 3 billion. We borrowed out until we couldn't pay. And then they had to give people a haircut. Do you want us to go through that again? I don't think so.
But there's one area
No, but
of
you
rules...
want to ask, is that where you want us to go? I'm sure you don't want to.
But there's one area of rules where you have absolute control of the funding.
Yeah.
Big push.
Yeah.
You said you're spending 15 billion?
Yeah. No, this year we have 13.8 billion.
13.8,
yes,
okay.
In the budget to pay.
13.8 billion on projects.
Yes.
Have those projects started?
No,
What stages?
It's just been, I just announced the project. It's now going to go through procurement. And before the project will start. And so we expect that by September, maybe August, His Excellency the President will begin cutting sod.
You're very strict on how this should be done because you're talking about getting commencement authorization from you, among others. Why have you introduced this kind of that process that unless you approve the rules, contracts cannot be awarded?
Do you want? Let me put it this way: you want me to pay for these bills, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you want me to pay, I need to know what you are buying before I so that I can plan to pay. If you pay yourself, no problem, you can award it. But if you want me to pay, let me know what you are awarding so I can plan to pay.
Is your road minister happy with those structures?
Oh, it's not about him being happy or not, but I can assure you that he's a very prudent person who understands how public finances needs to be managed. And I believe that even in your small radio gold, before you award a contract, you yourself, you need to let the owner of the company know. In this case, before you award, the president must be aware. The president will ask for you to speak to your accountant to find out how much money you have, whether you can pay. So it's the same structure. Nothing has changed.
I see.
And it's the case everywhere in the world. Ghana was the only country that a DCE can commit a country regardless whether there's money or not, and it becomes judgment on the country. It's only Ghana that you can find those things, but it's never done anywhere. Go to Togo and find out if you can do that. You can do that.
I understand we need to be wrapping up, but big announcement seems you want to go back to the local bond market. You're taking some steps. First of all, is this the right time, and how do you intend to do this in a manner that does not create the problems that I created in the past?
First, we are reducing the volume, volumes of borrowings. We are reducing that. And two, it's imperative for us to go to the bond market because we cannot continue to subsist as a government on treasury bills. That every 91 days you have to go and roll over. When we're leaving office, the Ghana's T-bill stock was about 10 billion in 2016. Today we are talking of 137 billion cedis. It can't continue. We can go to the market 1 week, and if you don't get money, there's a problem. That is not the kind of market you want to continue. And so as a matter of urgency, we need to quickly go back to the bond market and then reset that short end of the market that is creating problems that, if you are not careful, can become a major risk.
Are you sure you get money at a good cost?
Oh, inflation is coming down. Already I'm borrowing at 13 point something % on the T-bill market. Ghana's secondary market is doing well. The Eurobond market is doing well. The appetite is there. People are knocking on the door every day. And if I open today, I'm sure I'll get people to buy. In fact, people are coming to us, can you open? Because the appetite is amazing. But as I'm saying, I'm careful. I'm very careful. I'm a very careful person. And we want to see that we go to the market. We are just seeing inflation coming down. It's now 13.7. I can see that today there's a lot of 13s. Yes, inflation at 13.7. The big push money is 13.8, and then there's something also 13. The interest rate 13, and then there's another 13 from the how much we are paying contractors, also 13. So to the 13, it just occurred to that.
But on that one, before you come in. Are you changing your Bookrunners? Because you said...
Yes, we are revamping the whole Bookrunners.
Is that to suggest that those who were Bookrunners under the former administration have no chance of...
Yes, we are going to open new tenders.
Okay.
New tenders. So let me put it this way. the old Bookrunner system will not continue. We are going to open new Bookrunners tender, and everybody else who want to be a Bookrunner will have to now apply. If you apply, you have to go through the process, and you may be selected or not selected. The tender will reveal that.
Minister, I learned we almost ended this conversation, but two quick ones for me. How much, or let me say, how would you, the percentage-wise of the effort of the ex-Wal administration in all of your effort in recent times? I've heard you on another platform say that, yes, you made some good reserves, 4 months reserves, and in December 2024. What more?
No, not 4 months. We didn't meet 4 months. Is it 4 months? Okay, 8.98. Okay, it's for 4 months. Yes, $8.89 billion is about 4 months of the. Yes. So what do you want me to say?
So they are saying that you just you've not really done enough to take all the credit.
So for 8 years they could live 8.89. We've come 6 months. We have added 2-point-something billion. So you see the difference. I cannot apportion any form of credit to the MPP.
Okay.
They have been reckless. They have caused a lot of pain to the people of Ghana. They should rather be apologizing to what they've done to you and I. They drove inflation to 54%, moved our currency to 17, and caused a lot of despair to the ordinary Ghanaian. At a point, Ghana was going to stagflation, high inflation, no growth. I mean, very stagnant level. I don't know what they've done or left behind that we should clap for them. You've seen the cocoa sector, massive rot. Energy sector, gargantuan rot. Where? 0.1 sector that they've done something. I don't know of one. I don't know why they still want us to apportion some form of credit for something that they do not deserve. More credit. It's not possible. Will you give them credit? Let's be honest. They themselves, deep in their heart, what's they say it deep in their heart. They know that it didn't work. So please.
On a lighter note.
Yes.
At the close of your slides, I see APK, dollar APK. Was it a way to?
You know, MPP used to dance on a platform, and they dance APK. And so I was wondering what has picked in recent years, the CD. It's the CD in APK. So it was a nice way to pick their song and connect it to what is happening. Maybe in future when the economy rebound properly and we are all happy, and then we can go back to the platform and dance with them.
And let me conclude on two short notes. First, you said there's no gold. There was no gold for oil. They are also pulling out a document, which is an answer to a question that was asked the governor of the Bank of Ghana, suggesting that actually gold was bought under the gold for oil.
First of all, buying gold doesn't mean you use gold to buy oil. That is what they were telling us. That they were buying gold, and when they go to you, who happens to be an oil producer, instead of giving you dollars, they gave you gold, and in return you gave them the oil. There was no barter. I've made this point time and time again, and I've asked them that they should bring me any evidence that suggested that they shipped gold to an oil trader, and in return they brought oil. There was no barter. So there was nothing like gold for oil. They were buying the gold and keeping the gold to build reserves. I have said that. And so you could see the reserves position, gold accumulation going up over a period of time. But they never used the gold to buy, oil. No. No, it didn't happen.
I see. And secondly, on rules again, I realize you're funding is it Pokwasi to Insawam?
Yeah.
You're funding it now. But I recall vividly the tussle in Parliament over some loan agreements that were supposed to fund that. Exactly. What happened to those monies?
The money is finished.
Finished?
They spent it without using it to fund the road, so the money is finished. but the road is still there, and we have to fund the road.
Mm.
The money is completely finished. 750 million.
Do you leave it there?
No, it's
Would there be
finished.
some
They spent
accountability
it.
for?
Oh, you know, my job is to inform government what I've seen. It's for government to take action. I'm not the attorney general.
And let me conclude on the note where I started. I said you were the one who was holding government accountable. Rarely do they make people who were the face of criticism finance ministers. I realized that your whip also became Rose Minister when he was. Were you worried at some point that was going to be an issue, that the people on the other side will be more in the mood of we go show them? That'll create a problem for you when you were taking up the positions.
I think it is the other way around. It has given us rather an opportunity to be careful.
Okay.
Because not long ago, you were on the other side, not only criticizing, but pointing to certain things that you think is wrong. You cannot come and sit on the same chair and misbehave. So rather, it has given us some sense of being careful and doing things right. And I cannot criticize and come back and do the same thing. No, I can't. I can't do that. So it has really rather assisted us. Because for me, I think it's a good thing that phase happened to us. And not only me, but to most of our colleagues. And you could see that most of the ministers of today's ministers are, once upon a time, they were either ranking members, spokespersons, or people that led some attack when things were going wrong. And so we have no justification to fail.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you too.